Are you sick of getting wrecked when going for Sniper Bloodthirsties? In this video I'm going to help you get them a lot easier, so stay tuned. Alright guys, how's it going? It's Gamer here for another Black Ops 3 video, and today we're looking at how to get Sniper Bloodthirsties for the snipers more easily. So I chose the Locust, but pretty much all of these sort of tactics and tips are pretty much transferable to the other snipers as well. If I come across any further tips, I'll let you know. I'll do in a video or something. A lot of people have been asking for this, including, I'm really sorry I forgot your name, but I'll throw your comment up on screen. This guy is the one that's been asking for it, and finally it's here. So in terms of game modes, let's start off with that. I like going for the Nuketown playlist. If that's not, obviously this weekend Nuketown playlist is up. If that isn't there, then go for something like the Chaos Mosh Pit and try and get Nuketown maps. And if that isn't possible, try going for Hardpoint. I actually found it really useful, that game mode, because everyone sort of collects together, so that's a very useful game mode. Now in terms of the class, there's two classes I like to use. Honestly, you can use either one of them. I have to say I had more success with the first one, but the second one, if you don't like the first one, is also very good, so let's talk about that. Okay, so the first one was, I was using the Locust, and I put on the ELO sight. The ELO sight is very important. Instead of having to scope in, which I'm sure not only takes longer, but also you've got more sway, and it's not nice to get Bloodthirsties with. If you just have the ELO sight, it's more like a normal weapon. Obviously it does fire more slowly, so you've got to bear that in mind, but it's much nicer with the ELO sight. And then with that I went for the fast mags. This is obviously because you run out of bullets quicker, and you could go for extended mags, but honestly I feel like you have to reload after anyway, so I feel like fast mags are more important in this case. I do like to dodge from side to side so that people can't snipe me as easily, because often if you go into like things like Nuketown, or if you find any, which is another good point, nice sniping vantage points, like nice little windows or little areas that you can snipe from, what you have to realise is that they either have a thermal, or you know they're sniping you or something like that. So you've got to be very careful. So you've got to dodge in and out away from cover, and cover is extremely important for this. Cover is your best friend. Anticipate where they're going to be shooting you from. Quickly sort of dodge out of cover to have a look, then go back behind cover. It can either be left, right, or up and down, whatever. Just do whatever. Going prone behind cover and sort of just coming out, peeking your head out a little bit is also good for different areas. But you know, things like Nuketown, stock is extremely important because it lets you dodge from side to side a little bit, which helps you maneuver around the bullet, so that's good. And then finally I just went for rapid fire, because you know it sort of feels a bit slow firing, so rapid fire is going to increase the speed at which you can fire bullets, so the more you can get on target as quickly as you can, the better. Now if you're on something like Nuketown, you're obviously sort of going to be camping a little bit in the upsize rooms, and without being funny, there's nothing really wrong with that, because if you're watching this video, the likelihood is you're finding the Sniper Bloodthirsty difficult anyway, so I don't want to hear any comments saying, oh, you know, that's camping, how ridiculous. Sometimes you have to do it, and in this case I would say this is a chance where you have to do it. And I know there are probably people that can easily get Bloodthirsties every game 24/7, fine. I'm not that brilliant with the sniper, but I'm just saying with this method I found it a lot easier. So I like going for secondary, and I had the Marshall 16, but you can go for whatever. The MR6 is good, whatever. Sort of annoying to get set up every time you die, so if you can sort of kill people who are coming behind you or whatever and just take them out, people that are close to you, that's much easier than trying to kill them with a sniper and then dying and then having to reset up again. Since it takes away from your kills, it makes it more difficult. So it's better to have tacticals as well, and in this case I went for shock charges. Shock charges are good because obviously they stop enemies from coming through. Not many people run perks to counter the shock charges, so a lot of them are stopped temporarily, and also it tells you when you're there, so you can spin around, and if they're not dead you can either like kill them with a Marshall 16 or whatever, and just sort of to know what's happening, because otherwise I found that people came up to me with these DLC melee weapons like baseball bats and stuff and just hit me because I was looking out the window, and that's not good. That's not what you want. And obviously I had to have a wild card for the attachments. I didn't really feel that there were many perks I really need as such, because I'm not really running around, not doing anything. So I went for perk 2, Cold Blooded, and I mean obviously if there was something like wraps, then obviously you wouldn't die from them, but this is really because a lot of people you're going up against will have snipers or similar weapons, and a lot of them will probably be using thermal scopes. So if they're using thermal scopes, the way to counter that is to have cold-blooded, because they're less likely to see you. You don't stand out anywhere near as easily, so it's sort of just more easy for you to blend in, and that's why I use it. But there's not really any other perk that I liked as such. If there's something you want to go for, cool, but I really didn't feel there was anything that useful. Okay, now the second setup is pretty much the same. I went for the Locust, I went for the Thermal this time though, so talking about thermals. I then went for fast mags, I went for stock, and I went for rapid fire for the reasons I've just explained. However, for tactical, I went for 2 smoke screen grenades, I think they're called. You can see them there, and what that is for is basically, if you're sniping with a thermal, the enemies show up a lot more easily, but the problem is that enemies can see you and they snipe you easily. So what you can do is you can throw this smoke screen grenade, I guess you'd call it, on the floor. You then want to make the area all smoky so that enemies can't see you. And then what you want to do is snipe out of that so that the enemies can't see you, but because you've got thermal, the majority of people won't have cold-blooded, so you can see them. So they'll show up really easily, but they can't see you at all. They can blindly fire, and they might get you, but it's unlikely. So that's a very good way as well. The only problem is that after that, it's more difficult to get kills after you've used up both your smoke screens. So that's the issue. But that is a very good way because enemies can't see you, but you can see them. And let's just say they have a thermal sight. Well, you wouldn't be able to stand out because you're running cold-blooded again, so that's going to counter that. So it's really good. I think some of you will find that quite useful, so yeah. Now the other perk I went for on this class, because I didn't have any shock charges or anything to stop enemies coming through, I used the overclock perk in perk 1, and what this does, it allows me to earn my specialist ability faster, and I went for the weapon, and I went for the hive from Nomad, and the hive is sort of like they're shock. Well, they're not really shock charges, they're just those hives, so that if enemies step on them, then they'll die. So that will stop enemies getting through behind you and killing you, from your back. And also, it means that you know who's there and what, so it sort of blocks off the entrances behind you to enemies so that they can't come and kill you while you're not looking. And then just general tips, sort of just, like I say, you want to go behind cover. If you go up by the main window, sort of what you want to do is hide behind cover but step back a bit, because quite a lot of the enemies are smart and they shoot the wall next to the either side of the window because they know that you'll be hiding behind that quite a lot of times. So step back a bit so they can't shoot you and the bullet doesn't go straight through to you, and just sort of just peek very gently around the corner, see if they're there, and if they're not, go back, and yeah, just keep doing that until you find enemies. Then obviously you can hide sort of to the very left or right of the window if you're doing that, and you can look to enemies down by flags or anything. And this is why hard point is good, because the enemies often collect on the hard points, and you can see this in the gameplay I'm showing you. It's very easy to get kills like that. Every now and then you get someone coming through the window, so you got to be careful with that. But the other thing you can do is sort of, you can go to one side of the house, stay very close to the edge of the side of the house, snipe some people, then run around the back, go to the other side, keep doing that. So stay mainly at your spawn area and just go either side of the house or through the house, whatever, so you can do whatever you can to get those kills and get 5 kills for Bloodthirsty. Like I say, it's really not that difficult, so just don't think about it. I wasn't thinking about it, but I still got Bloodthirsty in the end, and that was what allowed me to get gold. I hope you found this useful. If you did, let me know by leaving a like. If you've got any improvements, I'd love to hear them. And if you want to check out the other Bloodthirsty videos, I've got them coming soon. Got some more sniper videos coming soon. Hopefully this will help a lot of you guys out, and I'll see you guys on the next video.